When we were kids, we could play all day, sleep whenever we felt like it, and still wake up with endless amounts of energy. But as we've grown, we've started to understand if we don't prioritize our sleep, our mind and body can't perform at their best. And so many people don't realize the gains they're missing out on because of this. My name's Michael Knight, and I'll be providing you with 5 reasons as to why you shouldn't neglect your sleep tonight. Now for recovery, sleep repairs muscles and tissues and your bodily energy systems. When you go to the gym, right, and you've done your strenuous workouts and you feel really good and you've got your nice pump and everything, right? When you go home that evening and you decide to lay about and watch TV or just, have a late night, maybe even pull an all-nighter for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what you did in the gym, it all amounts to nothing if you're not getting the sleep you need, because that's where the muscle growth actually happens. And it's too many people out here that just sort of think, you know what, I've put in the work here, maybe I've even eaten very well. I don't really need to put all this energy into going to sleep at a specific time. That's all boring to me. I don't need to work on that. The truth is, bro, it makes you more of a man to understand, look, me going to sleep is actually gonna increase my gains much more than the guy who thinks doing what he wants to do and neglecting sleep is better off. And that's just the truth of it. There's too many people out here that want to neglect sleep and act as though it's not that necessary. I'm here to tell you right now, you need your sleep for your recovery. Recovery is most important, okay? People say, muscles are built in the gym, muscles are built in the kitchen. The truth is, they are built in bed. When you're getting your 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep, that's where they're built. See, bro, the focus that sleep gives you is second to none. It can't be compared to anything. I don't care what pill, what supplement, what mental exercise and gymnastic you're doing during the day to sort of make your mind clearer. Nothing can be compared to getting the 8, 9 hours of sleep that you require night in, night out. I was about to say day in. You understand? Nothing can be compared to getting that quality sleep. Rested brains make sharper decisions. I don't know about you, but on this self-improvement journey, when you come home and you're in your element, okay, and you're doing your deep work and you've done all your tasks and you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing and everything, it's all fine and dandy. But what good is it if you can't keep up these activities for a prolonged amount of time? It's completely rendered useless, okay? Which is why I emphasize the importance of sleep, because what sleep allows you to do is it increases your ability to dial in and focus on the task at hand during the day, okay? And the more you do this, the more you live with intention, the better off you are, the longer you can continue this life, this beneficial and prosperous life you're currently living, okay? It all starts with the sleep. You should always want to stay sharp at all times. Now, hormones. Sleep is very, very, very crucial for those who want to increase their testosterone. You see, sleep is directly correlated with testosterone. I mean, you can imagine so with, muscle growth happening whilst you're asleep. Muscle growth and testosterone literally play hand in hand, right? Sleep also improves the growth hormone you go through. If you're someone who's, short and you want to grow taller and you're not sleeping enough, you only have yourself to blame. Get your ass in the bed and, sleep. It's really not that hard, is it? Just get to bed at a good time, 10 p.m. and wake up. It's not that hard, honestly. Sleep also balances cortisol. Now, for those of you who do not know, cortisol is the stress hormone, okay? And what cortisol actually does is it causes testosterone to reduce. Now, cortisol is produced when you undergo an amount of stress, okay? So a man who is in his 30s, okay, still fairly young in the lifespan of the man, is, in a relatively healthy range of testosterone amount, right? You wouldn't expect a 30-year-old to show low levels of testosterone within his body, right? But let's just say this was a 30-year-old man who was in a stage of his life where he's actually very extremely stressful. Now, not only will his testosterone be affected from this stress, but the lifestyle of someone who is stressed out will cause them to act and display different traits and qualities that will then go on and have a knock-on effect on their testosterone. For example, someone who's stressed, maybe they are struggling, mentally, they're all over the place. How is someone like that supposed to really be able to just get cozy and fall asleep and get enough sleep anyway? You understand what I'm trying to say? Naturally, the increase of cortisol will affect your testosterone. If you're able to go to sleep and you hit your hours out day in, day out, then you're staying on top of your game, your life force, everything is coming together to work for your benefit. The next topic I want to talk on is mood. You see, lack of sleep actually means that you have an increased amount of stress. Your anxiety levels go up and you become more irritated, okay? If you find that you're somebody who gets irritated very quickly, or you have a short temper, right? Maybe you struggle to actually control your emotions, there is a high chance that you're actually not getting as much sleep as you need. And this is something you should definitely take a look at. What I want you guys to do is I want you to look at it this way, okay? Think of it as a new mindset to instill within yourself. I want you to view sleep as a tool that you can use in the many areas of life that you will go into, right? I don't care if you're struggling to pay bills, okay? I don't care if you're having relationship issues, right? I don't know what your situation may be, but what I want you to do is use sleep as a tool. You see, what many people fail to do, or rather what they succeed in doing, is when they're in a dark place, they allow themselves to fall back on their good habits and they start digging themselves even deeper by making the wrong decisions. If you can make sure that no matter what's going on in your life, right, you're making sure and I'm pointing over here because my bed's over here, you're getting your 8 hours, right, your 40 winks, as they call it, yeah? You make sure that you're in the most optimal level of your being. You're lasered in, you're sharp, and you're focused. What does this mean? This basically means your brain is like upgraded to better meet the current criteria you're in, okay? Whatever issue you're having and you need a solution, okay? You might not even be the best thinker, all right, to overcome this situation. If you make sure that you're doing your part, okay, you're putting yourself in the most optimal, the best position for yourself to grow and overcome whatever boundary it may be, okay? Now, obviously, this will lead on to improving your mood, like I spoke on, the anxiety and the stress, okay? The short temper, okay? Getting the sleep you need. The dust sit all away. You just become above it. So yeah, the final point I wanted to speak on is the actual longevity of getting enough sleep. You see, I don't know if you're anything like me, okay, but when I have kids, right, I not only want to be able to play with them, and be active with them as they're growing up, but I want to see how their life unfolds. I want to be there for them and for those that they care about, right? And you see, an issue that comes up with a lot of people is that their lives are cut short, okay? And I know everyone has their time, but we have to do what we can to try and mitigate these risks, all right? Let's just say there's random health factors that could come up, okay? Sleep obviously it's superior in making sure that we're healthy, okay? If you want to live longer, you're gonna want to sleep better. Your sleep shouldn't just be about feeling better tomorrow. It's about building a body and a mind that will still perform years from now on. It's just like a machine, right? Every time you get a good night's sleep, it's like adding interest to a health bank account, right? So you can imagine that. Imagine having a bank account that instead of it tracking how much money you have, it tracks like how healthy you currently are, right? And you know what the best part about it is? Once you make that change, once you make sleep a priority in your life, it's not just a short-term fix, it's more of a lifestyle thing, right? It becomes part of your lifestyle. It becomes ingrained into you. Imagine stepping into 2026, not just chasing your goals, but having the energy, the clarity, and the focus to crush them every single day. I'm telling you, it starts tonight. You know, making sure that you get your 8 hours. That is the recommended amount, you know. So if you had enjoyed this video, make sure to tap a few buttons. You know, my favorite is the comments. I love reading comments. You know, if you can let me know what you took away from this video, what I could improve on, anything, greatly appreciated. But yeah, like I said, my name is Michael Knight, and hope you enjoyed it.